Hi, everybody. My name is Emily, and today I will be doing a little exercise using ACT with my current client, Marvin. Hi, Marvin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I've been okay, I guess.
Hmm.
I guess that I've been having, difficulty with obsessions again, with
Hmm.
concerning like my wife. I feel like it's been a little bit more than usual. Like I feel like, I was fine for a little bit and now I'm going back to thinking about like what if something happens to my wife or what if I mess up at work and it ends up harming my family. And
Hmm.
it's making me do the compulsions more than I usually would.
Hmm. And how do you usually feel before you engage in the compulsions? I know we talked a little bit about this last session, but I definitely wanted to ask if it was making you feel as anxious as it did in the previous session when we talked about it.
Um, well, I feel like I had a pretty good grip on it for a while, and then I kind of started feeling like very distressed. I don't think like as much as it was in the very beginning. Like when
Hmm.
we first ever started our sessions, I was not feeling myself at all. But I think that some of the stuff that we've talked about has helped. It's just that this last week I did kind of have like a lapse, but not as severe as that first time.
Hmm. There seems to be a very painful thought about um, obviously the safety of your wife and your child that's kind of showing up right now as it has in previous sessions. And there's a lot of anxious and feelings of fear as well.
Yeah, and I think it's like such a difficult feeling to be experiencing that it makes me try to find stuff like just to avoid it. I
Hmm.
think that like I've noticed that it's made me like do more compulsions, kind of like I've been washing my hands a lot. Like I'm afraid of like getting
Yeah.
my getting sick and not getting my daughter sick. I've been checking the alarm system, a little bit too much.
Hmm.
And I've caught myself doing it multiple times because I want to avoid feeling unsafe and I want to avoid like feeling stressed out. So it makes me like do stuff like checking stuff in threes like we've talked about
Hmm.
and sanitizing everything and myself and just everything I touch. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, it kind of makes me like lose track of what I'm actually doing because if I'm not doing those things, if I stop like to sanitize myself, I'm being taken away from the moment. Like I was playing with my daughter and I was like, oh, all these toys have so many germs. And I had to go away
Yeah.
to do the compulsions of like washing my hands multiple times and cleaning everything with Clorox wipes and that sort of thing. So it's made me feel like really, really distant from spending time with her. And yeah, I feel like disconnected, I guess.
No, yeah, and I can definitely see how much you're struggling with it and how difficult this is for you because I know you voiced that you do want to have a relationship with your daughter, that your OCD compulsions kind of don't interfere with, as well as your wife. And I really want
Yeah.
to help you handle it. So if you're comfortable, I actually wanted to see if you would mind if we did a small exercise. It's called dropping anchor. And if you're comfortable with it, we can go ahead and try it. It's an exercise within session that I basically read off a script and we'd go from there and kind of see how you feel a little bit before and after we've done it. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, it sounds like something I could try out.
Okay, great. So, so okay, first, I want you to see if you can push your feet hard into the floor. But get comfortable and find a spot that kind of feels right to you. and kind of push them down all the way into the floor and kind of feel the ground beneath you. Now sit
Okay.
forward in your chair and straighten your back and push them down even further.
Okay.
You're going to feel the chair beneath you and notice that your back is supporting you.
Mhm.
Now you're going to slowly press your fingertips together. And as you do that, you're going to gently move your elbows to your shoulders. So kind of like this, like this. You're going to feel your arms moving all the way from your fingers to your shoulder blades. You can also move them down. You can move them any way that feels comfortable to you. So take a moment to acknowledge there's a lot of pain here that you're struggling with. You didn't ask for it, but it's here nonetheless. And it's challenging and it's difficult, and you want it all to go away, and yet it's not going. So try and silently acknowledge to yourself, what type of pain is it? Is it sadness? Is it anxiety? Is it a painful memory? Just notice it. Now notice that all well as this pain, there's also a body around that pain, a body that you can move and control. So we're going to straighten our back again and notice your whole body now. Your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs. You're going to gently move them and feel them moving. You can have a good little stretch. Notice your muscles stretching and feel your feet down and feel the floor. You can also look around the room. You can look up, you can look down or side to side and notice about 5 things you can see. And you can say them out loud or you can say them within yourself.
I see an electric plug. I see my phone, my keys, the window blinds, and a spare chair.
Great. And also notice 3 or 4 things that you can hear. So
I
sounds
hear
coming from me or you or the room around you.
I hear voices outside the room, the air conditioner, your voice, and my voice.
And last but not least, I want you to notice that you and I working here together as a team. So again, thank you for engaging in this little grounding exercise. Um, I appreciate your time and I appreciate you actually being able to engage in this. Do you notice any sort of difference now? Like, are you caught up less in the emotional storm? Do you feel a little bit more anxious? What do you feel that the difference is now from before?
Well, I feel a little bit more like aware of my surroundings.
Hmm.
Um, I see, I've noticed the things that are like really going on around me, and that's like kind of forced me to stop thinking about like the obsessions of something happening to my wife and my
Hmm.
daughter. And I guess in times like when I'm really stressed, I can think about this exercise of looking around my surroundings and getting becoming more aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it can definitely help to, like you said, ground you and kind of help you to focus. I know in previous sessions we talked a lot about how a lot of times you feel that you aren't able to focus because you are caught up in those obsessions a lot of the times. And this is a great exercise, especially if I'm not here present, you can still do it kind of on your own and kind of running through the script with yourself and telling yourself these things. Telling yourself, I acknowledging the fact that there's a lot of pain here in this present moment, and just kind of talking within yourself and kind of helping yourself ground yourself by placing your feet on the floor and kind of, going along the motions of that sort of exercise that we did, and also the 4 or 5 things that you can see and the 3 things that you can hear as well are great to help ground yourself. Do you think that this exercise made it easier for you to engage with me, or yeah, I know you said to be present, as well as focus.
Yeah, I think that it was engaging between the two of us, especially like telling you the things that I'm looking at around myself.
Mhm. That's great. Well, I'm glad to hear that this helped you. And again, this is also something that even if I'm not here, you can definitely engage with it within yourself. Do you
Yeah, I think
feel,
that it's simple.
yeah, go for it.
It's
Sorry to
simple
cut you
enough
off.
to be able to, it's okay. It's simple enough to like be able to see it, well to use it whenever I'm spending time with them and I feel disconnected because whatever obsession is going on through my mind.
Mhm. Well, that's great to hear. I'm glad that this um, could be a great tool for us to utilize and put in and kind of store in our toolbox for the future whenever we're kind of feeling overwhelmed or feeling like we might engage in a compulsion. And my
Mhm.
last question for you before we kind of end our session, do you currently feel like you have a little bit more control over your actions now, over your arms, legs, and mouth? Do you notice that you have any sort of control over different areas in your body after doing this exercise?
Yeah, I think so. Because, you know, the part where you asked me to like stretch and like press my hands together and my feet to the ground, it made me like be conscious of like the
Hmm.
muscles in my body and um like the control that I have over my body. So yeah,
That's great. Again, I'm really glad that this exercise helped you, Marvin, and thank you for just engaging with me and participating with me. I appreciate your time, and I know that this
thank you.
isn't the easiest thing to do in the world, but I'm glad
Mhm.
that you were able to do it with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, so this time next week, does that work?
Yes. See you next week.
Alrighty, great. Bye, Marvin.
Bye.